Hello, friends. Welcome to a special edition of the Podcast Daily. It's the Masters Week. We are ready to get a little, there's a rooting interest here. Ohio State golfer Neal Shipley has qualified for the Masters, so he is joining us to give us some insight ahead of his trip down to Augusta National. I'm Austin Ward. Neal, it's been several months. You knew this was coming, so I don't know if congratulations are probably still in order for anyone who qualifies for it. So first of all, get that out of the way. How are you feeling with it coming a little bit closer now?
Really exciting. I've been on property a few times now, and it's starting to feel real. It didn't necessarily feel real when we qualified in August, and having an opportunity to be on property, it's just kind of like, wow, this is actually happening.
How many times have you been down yet?
Been down for 3 or 4 trips now. Okay.
So what are the playing privileges? What's it like to go down as you prepare for that? What does an amateur get to do to get ready to go play in the Masters?
Yeah, so they allowed us a few trips, and you can just set up dates with them, and you get to go out with you, and you can bring one person just to walk the course with you. So I had the pleasure of having my brother out there, which was an awesome day, and I had my caddy out there and then our assistant coach, and it's been really good to just learn the golf course and just enjoy the property. It's been awesome.
What was the first thing about getting out on Augusta National that you were trying to learn? Like, I think we've all been watching it. Any of us who've ever played golf or had a casual interest in golf could probably rattle through all the holes, so you knew what to expect. But being out there, walking it, playing it, I'm sure that's a little different. What were you hoping to get out of it?
We just try to learn about the green complexes a lot and where you can and can't miss to certain pin locations. So just kind of getting a knowledge of where good misses are and where you want to be putting from for those different difficult pins they have.
All right, so if they're Ohio State fans, they're going to be tuning into the Masters, they're going to be looking for you. Give them a little bit of insight into how you qualified. And, I know how emotional it was. We remember some of the shots and the comeback there, but how did you qualify? Explain that process for the folks who may not have followed along.
Yeah, so the Masters allots a few spots for amateurs who've won or finished second in some of the big events of the year. So they had events like Latin American Amateur, Asia Pacific, US Mid-Am, and US Amateur is one of those as well. And so they allot a spot for the US Amateur winner and runner-up. So that semifinal match is a really big match because that gets you a spot in the US Open and the US and the Masters. Yeah. So we were able to get it done there on 17 in the semifinal match, and that's how we punched our ticket.
Now, there was a little bit of drama there for the whole back nine, right? I mean, You're trying to win the match. Are you thinking what it might mean for major qualification at the same time?
Yes, there's a little bit of that creeps in your head at times, but my main focus during the match and during the week was to try to, stay in the present and, just play golf. You can get ahead of yourself really easily, and then you start to make mistakes. And I was just trying to stay committed to each shot that I hit and just make sure that I was giving my all on the golf course and just see where it laid after that.
How often do you think about the shot and finishing there on 17?
I've been able to replay it back more than a few times now. That was awesome just to watch it. I to be honest, I don't remember a lot of the walk up to the green, so that it's kind of a blur. And yeah, it was that was one of the coolest moments for me in my golf career. Obviously, that wedge shot, getting my spot into the Masters and US Open, but also just, sharing that moment with my really close friend, Carter Pitcairn, who was on the bag that day, and just meant a lot to me, just, having my family there and having all my supporters around.
So that stuff in a U.S. Amateur, that's separate than college golf and playing at Ohio State, and you came in as a graduate transfer. What made you want to, stay in college golf, and why was Ohio State where you wanted to continue it?
Yeah, so I think I'd finished up my undergrad in 3 years, and so I had 2 years left. So I was definitely focused on staying in college, and the possibility of PGA Tour U and all that as well as a big draw. But Ohio State kind of ended up being the landing spot just because the amount of support that they give the student athletes, it's pretty unbelievable what they do for us here. And I felt like with that support, along with the academic programs I was going to be going into, I knew that I was going to be in a good spot, no matter what happened with my golf game. Yeah. So it was kind of like a no-brainer after I entered the portal.
You're studying economics? We're studying economics, degree in economics?
Yeah. So my undergrad was in quantitative finance, and I had...
Of course, yeah.
And we had a few minors to go along with that. And then just finished up my master's in data analytics over the summer, and we're in a public management program right now. So it's been interesting. It's been a little bit of a 360 view for my, from going from finance math to kind of processing numbers. And now this program is more focused on managing people and managing relationships. So it's been cool to have kind of a well-rounded education.
Do you take that into your golf game? Matthew Fitzpatrick and charting crunching the numbers, taking every shot. Do you use that, or are those completely separate worlds for you?
I try to keep them slightly separate. It's really easy to get into the weeds with data, and especially with all the resources that are available to us, now. And it's important to understand a lot of that stuff, and it can help you improve. But at the end of the day, golf is more of an art and less of a science. So I think I like to stick more to the art side of that.
All right, so let's think about Masters Week. How are you going to get to Thursday morning? What's the plan to make sure you play your best Thursday and Friday to get into the weekend? There's so much that can be going on. I'm sure that you've got everyone in your family wants to make sure that you're picking up everything in the gift shop because it's the only place you can buy it. You want to try, the food they have there. I'm sure you're also trying to really compete in a golf tournament. Mm-hmm. How do you manage all of that that's going to be going on, you think?
Yeah, we're going to create a schedule, and I think we're going to stick to it pretty hard because it can be really easy to get carried away out there and burn more energy. You only got one battery, and that's so making sure that we're getting really well rested all the time and not staying out too late with friends or family, because it'd be pretty easy for me to play cards with my family members until 2 a.m. because I love hanging out with them. So just staying disciplined and, not playing too much golf too, because you can easily play 18 holes every day out there just because it's so fun to be on property and it's such a fun golf course. But just having that, I think having a plan is going to really, help us just be fresh for Thursday morning.
What's the family card game of choice?
We like to play Rummy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have that. I don't want to focus too much on your game. That's your deal. And talking about any golfer doesn't want to talk about their own game that much and jinx it. But just when you have an opportunity like this and you're trying to build and make sure that you're playing the best, the balance that you're talking about, do you want to practice more because you think that the Masters is an elevated situation compared to going out and not to diminish a college golf tournament? I would think there's got to be some temptation there. It's I'm going to be out there with pros and everyone's going to be watching, and I'm at Augusta National. Are you feeling that sort of pressure to perform, or can you treat it like it's any other event you played?
I think we can treat it like any other event, really. I prepare really hard for all my college events, and the Masters is no exception. I'm going to prepare really hard for it. At the same time, it does matter more in some ways, but at the end of the day, it's just golf. And I know my game, when I'm playing well, can hold up with just about anybody. So I'm not really worried about, getting embarrassed out there or whatnot. I'm just going to go there, have fun, just stay committed to each shot and, play my hardest and see what happens.
What do you want? Well, ideally you put on a green jacket. But what do you go into any event thinking that this is what the bar for success is for you? And how would that apply to the Masters?
I don't really set a bar for success in a lot of these tournaments. I think that for me, as long as I'm staying committed to a process and committing to every shot, that's what really matters. Because at the end of the day, you can't really control how good you hit it or how good you roll it that week. At the same time, I have set goals out for myself. I'd really love to be low amateur. I'd really love to, compete on the weekend and just really like to, get into a late group on Sunday. I think if I could complete those 3 things, and that, that'd be a very ideal Masters for me.
So I overheard as part of your media tour that you have a more unique PGA Tour player who got you into the game. I would think generationally, everyone's thinking, well, it's got to be Tiger, but that was not the case for you.
No, it was Vijay Singh was kind of the one that got me into it, which, when I was 3 years old, he's on that tear in 2004. I think he won 9 events and back then won over $10 million in a season, which is, pretty unbelievable for 2004. So, I ended up watching the PGA Championship with my dad that summer and, ended up grabbing his golf clubs the next day and swinging around. And my dad got me my own set. He really doesn't play, but my dad got me my own set and kind of took off from there. So I give VJ a good bit of credit there for getting me into the game.
All right, so you're hoping to see him down there at Augusta, and you've probably got some partners making sure that you're outfitted. NIL is a great thing for amateur golf now.
It's great.
Who will you be representing there at Augusta?
Yeah, so we're gonna have Nicholas Brands is gonna be the clothing brand. We have a few other partners as well, and some of the stuff isn't wrapped up yet, so
Okay,
I can't
gotcha.
say
All right,
yet.
well, we won't spoil it then.
But I've had the opportunity to meet some great partners and great people who want to support me and support my career, and I'm just really excited to grow those relationships, into the future and just make them long term. So.
Yeah, Ohio State's a pretty good place for that with the Nicholas brand, especially.
It is. It's going to be a great lot of synergy there. We think that really fit my brand, and we had a lot of touch points with Ohio State, Jack, and Augusta, and everything. So very excited.
All comes together. So Neal Shipley earns his way into the Masters, and everyone will be watching. No pressure on that. He doesn't feel. He's going to go out there and play his best, but we wanted to make sure we had a chance to catch up with him before he heads down there. It's Masters Week now, and we appreciate Neal Shipley giving us some time on the podcast daily. Thank you. Good luck.
Awesome.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.